lot about you, which I admire so much, and which I've learned about you, is that everything you do is with confidence.
Oh, wow.
And that's one, we always start, you notice, we always start with you in conversations. It's because you're confident, because you have a good lead.
Thank you. I mean, I thought that was about you, but I mean, I think like you impacted me because, I mean, I would always like to be the best. I mean, that's something I strive for. So seeing you knowing all the answers, and whenever we're in class writing something and you're just like, you're basically done by the time we're just now getting started on our first sentence. So, I mean, you're clearly up there as the best. So I, want to fight to be up there with you at the same level. So I'm like, you push me to be a better person.
No, you're too kind. And you actually, you guys do the same for me, especially you. Your personality reminds me of what it means to be a good human and what it means to be a good Christian. That class is so interesting for me because it's the first time I've ever been in that, like, not minority lead, but like where it's like, whoa, there's way more girls in this class than guys. Whoa, there's like 2 white people in this class. This is so strange to me, but you guys have taught me how to make people feel comfortable. At first, when I was walking in that class, I was a little uncomfortable because I was like, oh man, I don't know how people are going to look at me, what my views are like, but you guys were just so good about just being free and open with me, and especially you.
The roles were kind of reversed. Most of my time in Westerville, I have been the only Black person in the class. It's like rare to see a Black person in these higher up classes, or in these honors classes, or in these AP classes. And so just to take this African American literature class, and I was expecting to see a lot of Black people, but to see only 2 white people in this classroom and feel that I'm in the majority, like I said, it was a different perspective than I've seen in my time in Westerville.
And it really encourages this culture of questioning and bond and all of this learning through experience, which is really nice. So it makes it, for me, like, I don't know how I would ever react to being in my math class and being the only white person in my math class. Like, that would be so weird. Because of the way they run their classes, it's not that weird for me and Katie to be the only white people in the class. It's just,
there's like an open discussion to where, like, it's not like, oh, you're Black, you got to talk about only being Black. You're white, you all got to talk about only being white. It's to where, like, you guys have some type of perspective to where you understand what we've been through, and like you can like chime into what we're saying, and it's not like you have no clue what you're talking about, but we're open. So that's a good thing to have in that class. We've been recently discussing like stereotypes, Black stereotypes. You get these like perceptions of these Black people, and not even just like Black people as a whole, but individualism. This is something I've experienced, is people will take stereotypes of me like, oh, Candice, do you have a dad? Like we were talking about that. Just talking about these deep topics, not only like about our past, but like present things that are occurring. It's something I won't ever forget, because you don't ever talk about these things in other classes.
This is not a school topic that you sit down and take notes on. This is something that's very personal, it's very intimate, it creates a bond and understanding between classmates. And I'll never forget what Candice said about stereotypes and how it affects her, and what I take from that. I'll never forget that. When
San Cecilia told me that they were starting this class up last year, I was like, I don't think any white people will take this class. I really didn't think any white people will take this class, just because they hear the word African American studies and they think, oh, it's for the Black people to learn about their history. I did not expect to come into the class, and out of all people that are in this class, Katie and Evan, I was like, these are probably the 2 most least expected people to be in this class. They bring in a different perspective that, I don't think I could ever hear from anybody else. So
I'm glad you guys are in my class, man. It's our little family.